And we are live on Twitch, on DeffHeadDice, and on the Moose Machine Network.
Excellent. All right, hold on 1 second. My dogs are freaking out about something.
They're excited about your intro. And I'm keeping the camera on Dallas. All we're seeing right now is Dallas. Dallas, Dallas, and more Dallas. Oh. We just lost a viewer because of that, I think. We went from 4 down to 3. So.
Please, you'd lose 1 and gain 4. Don't give me that crap. I think we both know how that's going to go.
All right, are we ready to go?
Certainly are, at your convenience.
Mm-hmm. Hello and welcome to once again to. Okay.
Good stuff.
For those of you listening, this is evidence that we don't always do this perfect every time.
That's code for we never do this perfect the first time.
At least we're consistent.
Hey, it is what it is. I'm still mad at Matt for leaving without saying goodbye to me.
I apologize.
Saturday night. Jerk face.
You see me every time anyway.
Yes, but how often do we get to actually play a game together?
This is true.
Or return.
Well, if I had been able to stay till Sunday, we could have done it, but
I know.
Yeah. So, all right, are we ready?
When you are.
Hello and welcome once again to another episode of the Scrumcast over at handcannononline.com, where some may have loved and lost, but they didn't go to lock and load. With me, as always, is the press king, or formerly known as the guy, Mr. Dallas Johnson.
Yes, sir. Was busy making faces into the camera.
I was watching that. Good to see your face again, sir. It was nice spending a weekend with you. I've also got our Canadian troll, Fraser Belfour, DeffHeadDice on all things social media.
Good evening, everyone.
And as a super special guest, you know him, you love him. He's our UK troll, Mr. Mike Davis Bakarayu.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We are outsourcing these days. We have to bring in talent from other countries. That's why half of this podcast is not American now. So, gentlemen, Lock and Load has come and gone, and it was a super memorable weekend for everybody that went, except for Fraser, because he's not there.
No.
So, hey, Fraser. So I've decided. So I think we're still going to do the surrogate program where you get to keep the axe for a year, but between the two of you, you'll have to play a game, and who wins is the one who gets to take it home.
Oh, so we're not working on a seniority basis? That's good.
I'm gonna give it even. I'm gonna give you even footing. We're gonna start off like that.
Now, that makes an assumption that you don't wind up losing it again anytime soon.
Shush your face. I have it in hand.
Actually, I believe it came back to me.
Yeah.
You lost it.
Guess whose house it resides in? Thank you very much.
I think we're jumping a little ahead in the story, but I'll let you continue.
Oh, that hit social media like the day it happened. So we'll go ahead and move on from there. Back to Lock and Load. So we're gonna go down the line, and we're going to talk. We're gonna let Dallas start out though, because it's been a little while since he's been back to a Lock and Load. Dallas, tell us how your amazing weekend went.
Let's see. I showed up late on Thursday night and almost completely missed the invitational because my flight was delayed by about 45 minutes. So I thought I'd get time to maybe hit the raffle, play a few games. But I was able to hit the store and get some battle boxes so I could actually, play. And so my whole approach to Lock and Load when I came in Thursday night was get some battle boxes, get ready to start doing demos for the new release, get as many points as I could while I was there volunteering, and then buy a bunch of troll stuff and go home. Didn't really work out the way I had planned because Friday morning, and I put the YouTube for you there, apparently spearheaded by the other local press ganger here and our producer, Dan, Sergeant Buss, organized an effort to replace a lot of my army. And so I got to tell you, I'm super grateful. I don't accept help very willingly, but be that as it may, I'm super grateful for everything everyone did. Matt gave me a fantastic model. I got enough Crew Warriors to run about 7 units. So, so isn't that cool? But all in all, they replaced a good portion of all my army. While I was there, a press ganger handed me his no-quarter Iris, but she doesn't have any arms. So I have a no-quarter Iris without any arms, and then another press ganger handed me a Gorman the Sea Wolf, and so I got him during the event as well. Played a little of the IKRPG, and I volunteered like a madman all night long, both nights, to get as many points as I could so I could buy stuff in the store. Turns out I didn't really need to. And a part of what they gave me, and Fraser, I put the link of the picture of the big case. Dan over, or not Dan, Corey over, he's starting a Kickstarter for a new clear display case / army transport case called MAT, Modular Army Transport. We'll put the link up later. But he makes these nifty clear cases, and he gave me one one carries gargantuans and colossals, and the other one carries your army. So and then we took it down to Dan's school and etched a big Trollblood symbol in the front of it. I'm lighting it up as we speak, so within a week or two, hopefully when he starts his Kickstarter, I'll have it lit up. But if you can see in my camera, he gave me this colossal carrying case. It's pretty sweet, clear. Door slides open and close, and you can turn it upside down, and
That's
stuff
so
doesn't
awesome.
fall. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then also, since I have vinyl, and in the past I've made some vinyl, I put vinyl on the side. So I put the Trollbloods logo on that side, and I actually do play Mercs from time to time, so I have my Merc logo on the other side. That's the Galleon in there, if you can see him. Anyways, stay tuned. I think when the next time we record, we'll have his Kickstarter link. He's going to do a Kickstarter to see if this is something that people want.
Oh, yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not quite sure on traveling like in an airplane with it, but for local tournaments, and even if like I drove to an event, I like it a lot. Actually, it looks really cool. Showcases all of your models, especially if you have everything painted, which through the generous donation of the Scrummers and our listeners and everyone that's fantastic. I love you all. Most of my stuff's painted too, which is glorious. It looks really great in that case, so hopefully I can get it lit up and filled up with painted models for our next recording. But go check him out, Modular Army Transport on Facebook. It's really cool, really rad. Thanks, Corey, for donating that stuff, and thank you everybody for donating figs to me. It really took the load off, and it allowed me to just hang out at Lock and Load, and I volunteered at the Iron Gauntlet desk for a lot. Even got a few games in, Mark II and Mark III games. We'll talk about that later. But I just kind of hung out. I didn't plan to play any games, so I didn't really play a whole lot. But man, I had fun. I met a ton of really neat people, and I'm going to forget everybody's names, but we're plastered all over Facebook, and I really appreciate everything. And no, I posted, we will get even. There will be retribution. Every single person who I have a name that gave me something, you will be getting something back. So you can't get away from me that easily. I will pay you back. Bring it on.
Also, there's a video of Dallas being a blubber, you know. And,
yeah, I even cried a little bit. My head was all hunched because I'd slept on the floor, so my neck was all kinked, so I look like Hunchback of Notre Dame there. But there's a YouTube video I linked for you, Fraser, there in the chat.
Yep.
Of them humiliating me. Super grateful. What else did they give me? Oh, Fraser and his crew are lighting up a Glacier King for me. I'm very excited about that.
Indeed.
And I'm super excited about running my Kings. You guys, the Kings are going to own the world. Pioneered by myself and everyone else that comes over to my side of the world. So
it's going to be awesome.
What else am I supposed to talk about? That's it.
Well, I mean, you did that IKRPG thing, right?
Oh man, that was cool. So the IKRPG, they had 4 tables going at the same time, and we were all an extension of that. What is it? Black River Mercenary Company, and so we're all associates of those first 4 that come in their first adventure. And you split up, and you're trying to recover some reconnaissance information for Signar in exchange for being able to take contracts all throughout Signar instead of just in Corvus. And so you split up into 4 groups, and you go into this Orgoth temple. And everything you did, like not everything you did, but things that you did as you went through your part of the temple affected other tables. And so as we figured out a mechanical thing, we filled someone else's room full of smoke twice, and they took a bunch of damage because we didn't. And so there was one game where their guy tripped the evil bad guy, and he flew up into the other room to fight the other guys because they were trashing him, and he didn't let go of his weapon. So he went up through the floor with him, and they made him move tables and everything. It was really cool. I never thought about doing that, but there was 4 GMs and then a master GM and then 4 tables of 4 playing. And I got to get my hands on that because it was cool. Man, it was cool. So I got to play in it, and then the next day I helped them run it. It was a lot of fun, man. That's where it's at. What else?
I dig. I was actually over there for the conclusion of that, and everything seemed like it was run really, really well. And
it was the timing was real good too. The GMs coordinated with each other really well to kind of make sure they were all kind of at the same pace. The whole adventure lasted right at about 5 hours. It was just superb. Well done, Privateer Press. If you're listening, which I doubt you are, but if you are listening, I loved it, and I'd do it again in an instant. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's actually making me think about what I want to register into next year, because that seemed like it was a lot of fun. You just need to make sure to bring snacks next time.
Yeah, I made Matt buy me food both days. So.
Yeah.
But he did get lunch out of it off of me too. So there you go. So
that was excellent. Everything else was really well coordinated. So the only person who actually did anything competitive this weekend was Mike. So Mike, I'm going to go ahead and let you give us a quick recap of your tournaments this weekend.
Okay, yeah, well, Lock and Load started off eventfully. Matt was staying over in my hotel, and the evening didn't exactly go as I expected it to be. Largely consisted of Matt running in, dropping his bags up and say, "Crap, I lost Rathrock." And that turned into a run up and down the street looking to see if we could find it.
I'm trying to find the YouTube video. So
it's over on Hand Cannon, guys. Go to the Hand Cannon Facebook page. It'll be there. You can watch. You can have me recount for you my harrowing tale of being a complete moron. And
I'll link it for Fraser.
It wasn't even like I was drunk or anything. I just had my hands full of everything. And I turned to the gentleman, and I'm like, "Thank you so much for the ride." I lean down to get my stuff, and he's already driving off, and I'm like, "Shit." It was terrible.
Yeah.
And of course.
We lost him.
Yeah, we lost Matt. It's kind of par for the course, really. He loses he loses Rathrock. He loses his internet feed. I think we know who the real troll is.
If you hit spacebar, it just closes your freaking video for you.
Sure. It's the spacebar's fault.
At any rate, yeah. So and then I run up and down the road. I run like away, Mike, because I think I'm gonna find it in the road someplace. And Mike's just like casually walking along, just like, "Well, that's shitty. Sucks for you, Matt." And so I get back to him and I look in the bushes and stuff. Like apparently the axe had flown off the trunk, skipped the curb, and fallen into the parking lot of the Bellevue Mall right there, which is right across the street from the hotel. So I feel like a big idiot, but they went back, found it, and then proceeded to troll the shit out of me for about half the day, telling everybody that they found it again, and then didn't tell me until later in the day, and Dallas took the honors of bringing it back.
Man, I tried so hard to get them to let me keep it.
I'm just gonna have to loan you my Rathrock. Mine's.
You'll
right
see Mike's behind there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but here's my Rathrock.
Wow, that's impressive.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, this one also does not return when I throw it, but clearly that's a trick that's unique to Mad Rack, it would seem.
Boy, that's pretty sweet.
I won it as a prize for killing the most army points when I went to the Blood and Oil tournament in last year. Great tournament, by the way. I'm sure that Ross would love to get a free plug out of it. So anybody ever fancies coming to the UK and going to a tournament in November this year, second weekend I believe it is, might be the third weekend, but Blood and Oil is a great tournament, very well run, and very friendly players.
Awesome. Well, if you can send us the details, we can post it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, I'll get the details and I'll make sure that you guys have it.
Sweet.
All right, so tell us about your Masters performance.
Well, the first game was you're always a little bit unsure about what's coming up when you get into the first game of any tournament. My first Masters game, I was bringing my Legion for this one because I committed myself to a year of playing Legion, and no, not easy mode before you go ahead and jump in and say that, Max. I know what you're like. Because I don't run the usual Legion Warcasters, or Warlocks even for that matter. My first game, I was up against... I can't remember who my first opponent was. It shows you just how much everything turned into a blur. My first game, I think I was up against... I want to say Scorn, but I'm not sure. Yeah, my first game was up against Scorn. I don't remember the Warlock I was up against, but I remember looking at both of his lists and looking at the two of them, like both of them were quite infantry heavy, and so I dropped Bethane, which was like my infantry counter list, and it was a bit of a grind. I didn't score any control points in that game, but ultimately I won an assassination when he knew that he wasn't going to win on scenario, and he went for a desperate assassination attempt, which did not work. So that's pretty much how the first game went. The second game I was up against Crix, and I remember this one because I was up against my least favourite Warcaster out of all of them, which is Gorshade 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Gorshade, it seems like every time I play him, he always gets an opportunity to either make some attempt at an assassination run out of nowhere, or gets the opportunity just to scenario you out of the game by just running mechanic rolls in and blowing them all up to stations and everything. But
Jerk. That guy's a jerk.
but my record against him was around about 50-50, and I dropped Bethane again because she's made to be my Crix drop. And for the first time, I got to live the dream with the Swamp Chamblers, where I had like 18 of them, and I charged the Gatorman Bocker into the Sepulchre, and I don't know if you've ever actually seen what he can do to a Colossal or Gargantuan, but basically his death magic, you can take a guy off to buy an attack, and you can take a guy off to boost damage, and he took about 40 boxes off the Sepulchre by himself.
Wow.
So yeah, he was not messing around, and after he lost his Colossal, again, the only thing he could try to do was an assassination run, but I knew that's all he had to go with, so Bethane had her Ashen Veil up on herself, so she was sitting on defense 18, and he just couldn't hit her with the attack that he needed to try to kill her off. Third game was against Kador. They were supposed to go for 4 rounds, and so I didn't want to list lock myself, so I dropped Callus, even though Bethane again would have been the better choice. Turns out in the end that because of the number of drops, they actually had the number of undefeateds that they needed after 3 rounds, which was annoying because otherwise I would have just dropped Bethane again. But in the end I lost that one. It was Vlad 2 against Callus, and this terrain massively benefited him, and without any stealth, he just gradually picked my army off and managed to win on scenario. So yeah, that was how the tournament went. So in the end, I finished 3rd reserve. I showed up in the morning, but didn't get in, unfortunately. So it was a win-win. That just meant I just played Mark III all day.
Mark III's fun. What are you gonna do?
Mark III is fun.
Yeah, I would think that there's not a lot of people that would not show up to a Masters event at Lock and Load. I don't think being in the reserves probably is almost as good as not making it, just because, I mean, who would skip the Masters round, right?
Hey, being in the reserve is closer than almost everyone else got.
Oh, true. Yes, not to take away from that, but I'm thinking it's like.
I mean, let's take it in context. A tournament of almost 200 people, and you finish probably top 18, 20, 25.
Oh, that's
at
still
least.
fantastic. Yeah.
Basically, effectively it's like the top 25, basically.
Yeah. And
I think they had took 4 reserves from each from each heat, I think. So
Oh, nice.
there's
Yeah.
like 12 people from each altogether.
See, this just proves old school scrummers. We like to perform. So last year I was top 16. Then this year Mike top 25. That's proven.
Well, and a couple of years ago, Mike was in Masters. He made the top 16. So.
Yeah,
Yep.
a couple of years ago, I was top 1 in the qualifiers.
Next year, I'm playing in it, and I will hopefully do something other than suck. That's the goal.
You know what? Just right now we're in an era where you can specially need snowflake your ass to a win, like as much as you want, because nobody's gonna really know what kind of synergy you're gonna see. Like I've already said, like I think gargantuans are gonna be big this year, and I think the Mountain King's gonna make some waves.
They're big for me.
Yep.
All
Well,
kings
you know-
all the time.
The Sea King is the one that's going to be making waves.
Oh, God.
Da-da-da.
Holy moly! All right, so my lock and load was pretty eventful. I had a great time. I showed up Thursday night. I got to get off work a little early, so I made the RFP dinner for our Kickstarter donators, and it was super awesome. Got to glad hand some some celebrities from the War Machine community, JVM, Jason Watt. The little guy that runs Hand Cannon, Charles Sarah Smith, was there as well. Along with the rest of our crew. Had a good dinner. Got to hang out. It was just a really chill evening, and like I said, I got to see Dallas' face for the first time in what feels like a year. So, that always made it good. Saturday morning started really slow. I basically just ran around, helped out with all of Dallas' stuff, made the connections behind the scenes, and made sure everybody was on the same page. So then all of a
Gave
sudden,
me a shirt.
Yep. I gave him my.
You're not
profile.
getting it back, by the way. You're just going to have to take mine from Charles.
I'll just grab it on at some point. That's fine. It's been laundered only a handful of times, so.
I hope so, if you've worn it a handful of times.
Then I basically did a lunch run, hung out with Dallas, watched him play the RPG, played a couple of games during the day. Canadian, a couple of other guys, like lots of fun. First round was Crix. I played my old school Gristle 2 War Wagon Mountain King list. I killed about 42 Mechanothralls over the course of the game. I was playing Scar 1 with a Sepulchre and Mechanothrall spam. The War Wagon was MVP. He killed 35 total of the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the War Wagon just wrecked house in that game. It was amazing, and I only lost to a close assassination. So it was a super fun game, and all of my pieces were just running, firing on all cylinders. So I was just taking models off the board left and right. It was a super fun game. I think the next game was against a Retribution player, which ended up going in my favor. I played Borka 2 into that, which was super fun. Stealth is kind of hard for armies to shoot. And then ultimately Borka got in there and ended the game for himself, because why not? That's what he does. He's quite the star. The next day was basically just waiting for the keynote, hanging out with fans. It was just a really chill day. I did get a game in that day with one of the gentlemen who helped with the donations for Dallas, which is Drake Scott. Drake's the one that hooked us up with the case and sort of got that moving as well. He's a super cool guy and does a lot of his own freelance art and a couple other things. So find him on Facebook, Drake Scott. He's got a number of his pieces up on his website. Probably has a DeviantArt as well. But it put us in touch with the guy that made Dallas's case, and was a super nice guy. You'll also find him in the video where Dallas cries.
It's true.
So.
It's true. I didn't cry.
Yeah,
Shut up.
fine.
There was dust or something in the air.
It's the new age, Dallas. You can be sensitive.
Oh, I'm old school. Freaking millennials get everything handed to them. The participation trophies piss me off. Earn your trophy, dang it.
Mhm.
Sorry, where did that come from?
Flight track there.
From your son that was competing in the freaking finals that day on Saturday.
Yeah.
How did they do? Did they win?
It was Friday night, so they came up through the losers bracket because they lost their second game as the final tournament of the regular season, double elimination, and they happened to make it all the way to the championship game. going into that game, the team that they were playing had only they hadn't even really lost. The closest they came to losing was, I guess we tied them. I thought we beat them, but I guess we tied them once. So they were undefeated in the regular season with one tie, and they were undefeated in the tournament. So going into that championship game, if we beat them, we'd have to play them again because you got to lose twice. So my 9-year-old kid, he actually had to pitch because there's a lot of pitching restrictions, and we had played 5 games that week. And so my son, in true Trollblood fashion, dug deep and took some names and frickin' made me buy him a frickin' Legion army. So, yeah. But that's okay. Anyways, they won. They beat them twice. It was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to beat an undefeated team too. That's a lot of fun. So.
Pretty fantastic for sure.
Yeah. Little. I'm sure you guys all care about my life. So.
It's like a Hollywood ending. I mean, you couldn't ask for any more than that.
Exactly.
It's nice to, you're hardly ever in that situation in your life, and it's nice to see him. He's been playing baseball for the last 4 years, 2 or 3 different leagues at a time. So closest he's ever gotten is 3rd place. It's nice to see him make it all the way to the top once in a while.
Pretty awesome. Definitely.
Especially a team that's not supposed to make it. So.
Yeah. Well, and I basically capped off my Saturday with a really rewarding evening. I got to have dinner with some old friends from my meta that I don't see very often, and an old friend that lives on the other side now that I haven't seen. Dinner full of laughs, excellent day. Got to hang out, come see some super awesome spoiler stuff with Madrak 3 and the Sea King, which is freaking awesome.
I think I'm more excited for Madrak 3 because I like Madrak, but the Sea King.
Madrak 2.
But the Sea King's. So at first I wasn't sure about his ship thing, but I've decided it's his Commodore hat. So
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here it is. Yeah.
You saw the pictures. It looks fun. Looks funny until you realize it's his hat.
Why does he have that on his head? I'm like, well,
It's a pirate hat.
in the water, and he has a pirate hat now. That's the way it goes. What I'm more excited about is that goddamn anchor in his hand.
Okay, listen very closely. It is not a merc or minion. It is a troll. We were there. They told us.
Okay, so we've got the
Let's
clarification.
not be confused. Also, that's Madrak 3, not Horthol or whatever, or Horgel. It's not Horgel.
Nope,
not
Madrak 3.
Horgel. Madrak 3. We were there, unless they lied to our faces.
They would never do that.
Madrak 3. They better not. Because then I'll buy more of their stuff anyways.
You'll show them.
Well, and we got a glimpse of some more stuff, some cavalry from the Protectorate, the Warlock Callus 2 was up there as well.
Oh my gosh.
So very serpentine of him, actually, which is not that surprising, I guess. I had to troll Doug Hamilton a little bit while I was up there viewing it. I said it looked Crixie.
Awesome.
And he said, "You take that back," and I'm like, "Nope, not gonna." Come on.
Bad person.
So I fully expect to be trolled on the next troll model he actually makes. That's what I expect. But the whole weekend was just excellent in every way. I got to hang out, see friends, see fans, see everybody at Lock and Load, and then also when I finally retrieved the axe, I carried it around a good portion of that weekend. Far fewer people interested in taking selfies than I anticipated, actually. But that's kind of the way it goes. And then obviously to cap it off, the axe came back, and now it's going to reside with me at home for the year until next year, and then we will have the epic throwdown that decides whose wall it will adorn next year. So you guys, you have a challenge.
We go by height.
Hey, I'll let you know this. You're probably bigger than me, and you're probably stronger than me, and you're probably faster than me, but I fight dirty, and I'm going down swinging.
Yep, you've mentioned that before, so
Bring it on,
big
guy.
I'll send in my 16-year-old twins to soften you up before I come in for the finisher.
Ooh, I'm a wily old veteran.
We're bringing the family next year, are we, Fraser?
Well, maybe the only way we can get out there is the family will visit my sister up in Vancouver while I sneak down for the weekend for Lock and Load. So.
I am in the same boat. My wife and kids will be there. Hopefully, my oldest will be with me at Lock and Load. So.
I think you should bring your boys to the convention, Fraser. I think awesome for them.
Well, I know Spencer has been looking at the. He's been playing Kador, and he looked at the new caster, and he was just his eyes kept getting bigger and bigger as he's going. It can do that. It can do. Wow, it can do that. So he's very excited because he stuck with Sorsha through most of the times that he played, and just started dabbling with Butcher, because just I don't know why he just decided he wanted to stick with what he had, and he's very excited.
Yeah.
So my other son plays Signar, but he's Minecraft and Rust are too big of a draw right now, so I don't think I'm going to get him back into the game immediately. But my son Spencer is all over Mark III and doing the Journeyman League again and getting in and building up to a. I'm not sure if he's going to be competitive, but I think he'd have a blast at something like Lock and Load based on what you guys are
Dude,
saying.
Lock and Load, you can spend the whole weekend there not being competitive at all, just hanging out.
Yep, I think he'd enjoy that.
Just take away his video games.
Yeah, easier said than done.
That's true.
But I also have like 5 inches on them and about 100 pounds, so I probably can get away from them if I have to.
Just wait till they go to sleep and then destroy their Minecraft village.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
Far too much work.
Clearly, brick by brick. All right, so I think we've put a cap on Lock and Load. I was gonna have Dan chime in for just a few seconds if he was still here, loud as he might have been. But I know that spending a little bit of time with him, he had a blast. Didn't play a game, but he got to hang out with Dallas. Help out with the army. I know he was up in the hobby room quite a bit. Like it was a pretty good weekend for him, I can imagine.
Him and I went and saw a movie.
Why would you want to be there?
We're like, it was Friday night, it was getting late, and we're like, let's go see Warcraft. So we walked up to the movie theater and saw Warcraft. That is what it is.
That's a good reason to go. I'm certain it tugged on your nerd strings there.
It was, the orcs were gorgeous. It was
Yeah.
it was one of those movies that is going to be both good and crappy, if that makes any sense. Like it was when they go up and they hold their sword up like this, they're like, let's go fight the bad guys. You're like, no, you don't hold swords like that. Don't do that. but okay. And little things like that. But overall, I liked it a lot. That was good. Bueno, nacho, tango, apple stars.
No, I did have a
All
question.
right, so
Sorry,
yeah.
I just want to go back to the. Did anyone actually see the 3D printed version of the Sea King?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've got pictures of it.
I
Did
saw
you
the picture. I wasn't sure if they were yours or not. Now, did did they make any indication that this is going to be a new theme within Trolls, or is this just like that they were fairly tight-lipped about that? Because I'm curious if we're going to see
There
like.
was nothing the script said about it, only that it was indeed a troll and that this was a not full-size 3D printed model.
I
wow.
could go for that's a direction we could go. Also, I think they're going to explore. They're for sure going to explore Northkin. Like that's that's our immediate next direction is Northkin.
Yeah, it would not surprise me at all with the prevalence of Borka, how everything's been moving. Like,
Well, that's our next book. And if you notice, there's a bunch of Northkin models, like Northkin Fire Eaters. Both Borkas say he's a Northkin Trollblood Warcaster. Scaldy's a Northkin, and he turns his champions into Northkin.
and then
The Northkin Shaman coming out.
is Rock Northkin?
I don't think Warbeast matter, but I can
No,
check.
yeah,
real
Rock
quick.
doesn't have Northkin as a tag, but
But he's bonded to Borkas, so.
yeah, because of the way that theme lists are going to work now, it doesn't matter which warlock you put in it.
Right.
Because it has a bond, is also then subsequent eligible, even if they're not a bond. But I'd imagine that Rock probably would be in the theme list anyways, but if he wasn't, because Borka's Northkin, then he automatically qualifies.
Yeah. So there's already, if you look through the cards, and if you look through all the factions, like there's a bunch that say Privateer or Lealese or Ordic or Signarin or Thamrite or Morrowind. A lot of things have that secondary tag in their title now. So I assume we'll see a lot more of that with the release of the Theme 4 books. Apparently,
So,
it was
interestingly, having a look through the cards, Trolls have the least kind of tags in that fashion. The only real 2 tags that we have are Northkin and we have Runeshaper.
Yeah. Yep. We do have the least. I did notice that. So.
I'm not particularly concerned. Like, there's not a lot of diversity among trolls since they're the faction that dabbles the least in other factions, effectively.
Dude, they were the most highly adaptable. You could make trolls anything. You could give them any attributes. You could make them bats. You could make them dolphins. You
A
could
bat
make them
troll.
unicorns. Whatever you want to do.
We're gonna have a shark-born dire troll. is what we'll have.
Oh, that would be so cool. Shark troll nados.
Fantastic.
Oh crap.
Peacock troll.
Well, Matt, are we gonna spend some time just talking about some of our favorite solos and units, or are we gonna just?
Yeah. So what I was thinking is that we could sort of pick out a model apiece out of the Mark III release that we saw, and sort of gush for a moment about what we love.
Let's see how much time we have, and maybe we can do it a couple times.
I'm down.
Okay.
All right. So Fraser's the one that hasn't gone. You've got the deck now, Fraser, right?
I certainly do.
All right. So give me the one you love.
The one I love, just because of what I like what they've changed, is the champions. So full disclosure, didn't play them in Mark II. I had the models, but I was typically playing Ruins and EE, so it didn't fit in. So for me, what really the biggest change that I like about him is that the defensive line changed from giving you that 2+ armor to a 2+ defense. And since I want to take Calandra for one of my first casters because I'm so familiar with her and I figure it'll help me ease me into Mark III, getting Starcross up and getting a higher defense is a win-win. So I'm gonna wind up just having lots of fun with the Trollkins. Plus having Weapon Masters and with the Krillstone up, getting granted they did lose 3 boxes, but still getting those getting under the stone with the good armor. I think it for me is going to be a win-win.
So I did notice, and I didn't notice this before. I didn't know if it changed, but I did notice that it's only +2 defense in melee. So you're going to want a Chronicler, and you're going to want some other way to help deliver them.
True.
It's not too terrible, honestly.
No.
It makes Soka charge really well, actually, which is good. But that being said, we have a lot of ways to defensively buff our stuff against range, and the Chronicler is so cheap that I don't see why we wouldn't just.
I gotta be honest with you, I haven't looked at him.
He did not change. Literally nothing changed. Like he still does the same stuff. So, and he's still inexpensive. He's 4 points currently. So.
Yeah, he's the same.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Now this is the one where we're gonna have to break faction. I think you're the one who might hit us with a non-favorite troll model.
No, I don't think so. Okay, fine.
Well, no, because this is all about the TrollbloodScrum. I'm again sticking to the Trollblood models. Was the one model for the trolls that made me raise my eyebrows the most and ponder possibilities is the Trollkin Sorcerer. Is the Trollkin Sorcerer, for those that aren't aware, used to be a solo that had a jump. So the unit that he picked, he could basically he can do a couple of things like remove upkeeps, that sort of thing. Now he is a full-on weapon attachment, and he can go into any medium-based Trollblood unit. So this means that he can go on to, you could stick him into a unit of Fenblades, and one of his special abilities he does now gives all the Fenblades magic weapons. Or he can remove an upkeep, and because his special rule says that he can use one of his special actions before a charge, you don't suffer the penalties to your movement. But the thing that I've been toying around with the idea of the most is actually putting 3 of them onto a Krillstone unit.
That's my favorite. I was hoping you'd say that. He's expensive now. He tripled in cost, so he's 3 points per dude. So for 9 points, though, you can increase the bubble size by 3 inches. So.
Well, you need $160 to buy 3 of them.
Well, really, there's the price point, but the price point aside, the biggest thing that he does is, besides the fact that you now have a 14-inch bubble on your Krillstone, which is bigger than a lot of casters' control areas.
Yeah.
But your Krillstone can also throw out spells from the back line because the three sorcerers still have Razor Wind, so they can still throw out those range 10 power 12s. But also, it gives you just that much more guys in the unit. They have multi-wounds, so they can walk through auto-plink templates and that sort of nonsense.
Yeah, so you you don't really notice a difference like in the aura when it's 11 inches to where it's like more than that. I feel like you're sort of throwing it away at that point. But what you do is you give it a lot of gas late game, where you start to lose some of the crews, or you have to throw them away for combat actions or what have you. And you've got the extra guys who have spent most of their game throwing, like you said, throwing razor winds, and then all of a sudden they start to be a more integral part of the unit. It's a pretty interesting thing.
Yeah, or you've also got then stuff like just the magic weapons thing is huge. Put one onto a fire eater unit. Just make sure you don't set him on fire because he will not.
He won't like that as much.
No, that's not going to end well for him.
But all of a sudden throwing out magical sprays on those assaults is, no pun intended, quite magical.
It's fantastic, and it's sparkly because they'll be on fire.
Ooh, sparkly.
Oh yeah.
Because especially looking at them as your cricks counter, when a lot of crick stuff these days now is rocking like incorporeal and that sort of nonsense. Having something that you can put into any unit on demand to give them give them magical weapons. Auto strip upkeeps from like casters like Harbinger with Fear of God and Crippling Grasp, those sorts of spells. Being able to strip those off your guys before you go in will make a massive difference.
I think that he actually has a really solid place in the army now. I think it's a pretty sweet model.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I use. And with the changes to weapon attachments, trolls at the moment are the only faction that has the ability to put 2 different weapon attachments onto the same unit. Currently, we're the only faction that can do that.
So I have a question about putting attachments on units in War Room. How do I put the sorcerer on a unit in War Room?
He's bugged.
It doesn't work?
At the moment, it doesn't work. It's bugged.
Okay,
but
that's what I thought. I knew I was missing something. So you can't even add them to the army.
at the moment in War Room, no. But
Stupid War Room.
They had such a good track record of doing things properly right off the gate.
Well, that's true. What am I thinking? The par for the course, right?
Right. All right, Dallas. Dallas, what's your favorite?
Oh man, there's so many. So I would be remiss. If I didn't passingly mention the Thorn Gun Mages, because they're pretty sexy. But oh man, what do I choose? Let's see. The Rune Shapers are fabulous. The Fire Eaters are cheap and fabulous. I like the Knot. I love the Pummeler. Oh, I know what I'll talk about. Let's talk about the War Wagon for a little bit.
You bastard, that's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, the War Wagon. So he's a cavalry model, which is awesome because of Orthel. He's a construct, which is awesome because of the Tinker. Is it the Tinker? Yeah, I think it's Tinker. He has Pathfinder, which is awesome. So he still has the Scattergun. It's still only Rat 5. He still has Pounder, range 12, so it's a little better range-wise. Oh, I thought I got muted there for a second.
Nope.
Anyways, can you guys still hear me? Wave if you can still hear me. Oh, good. Man, all the sound just went away. Okay, so the Pounder's a little better range. The AoE's fabulous, still at 5. POW 16's glorious. He has Arcing Fire and Quake like he always did. The Mount has Momentum and Trampling Hooves, which is that's awesome for the impact attacks.
Oh, yeah. So think about this. It actually makes the intricacy of play better because now when you impact, you use Momentum on the models that you hit, which means they all get slammed. So you need to be very careful about your charge target because of the way that this gets resolved, I believe, unless they change. No, they changed the way that the attack was.
They've changed the way the cavalry rules work now, so the War Wagon ending his activation by accidentally killing his charge target, that doesn't happen anymore.
That's no longer a thing, yeah.
So yeah, you move to it's basically like having Bulldoze Plus. Like you move to the first line of models you want to hit, and then you hit them, you slam them, they get slammed into other models, and then all of that crap dies, and then you continue on to your charge target, who then also gets slammed, and then you make all your ranged attacks. It's like, what in the fuck?
It's expensive, but because it's 18 points, but it's worth it. He also has the new better version of Gunfighter Virtuoso called Dual Attack, which allows him to make his melee and ranged attacks in the same activation. You can trample and still shoot. You get additional die on impact attack rolls because he has line breaker, and it has reposition, so you can charge in, do all that smashy, and move to the side a little bit so something else can come on and do some damage.
Model's fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, glorious. He gained a wound. I think he gained 2 wounds. He has 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 boxes now. FA2 still, so he's pricey, but I could see myself bringing 2. While Matt's talking about his favorite, I'm going to make a list real quick with 2 Mountain Kings and 2 Kings. But yeah, War Wagon. I love it.
The thing about the War Wagon now is momentum on the mount attacks makes a massive difference as well to his assassination potential.
Oh yeah,
because now you can just. So once again, it's just coming back to being the king of bowling again now. So run your Creel Warrior up, or more likely a Fenblade, because no one's going to take Creel Warriors anymore.
Yeah, the Fenblades are just too good.
Just run a Fenblade up next to the caster, charge your Fenblade, slam him over the enemy model, knock him down, and then just hit them with those power 16s then on the big gun. Yeah, it's going to be fun and games.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Like no lie there.
Let's see.
So Dallas stole mine, so I'm currently looking through the list of things that I can actually talk
Switch
about.
to Fraser then.
Fraser already went. He was the first.
He did?
I did.
Yes.
Where have I
I'm
been?
glad you're paying attention.
Fraser can go again while you think.
Well, Fraser's
All right,
looking for
so
something as well.
All right, so we did the math on this a little bit earlier, but I think the Slag Troll is one of those models that's going to see like a huge rise in play, and my God, that model is excellent now. Across the board, just so good at what he's supposed to do. And it's kind of specialized, but to be honest, I mean, when you have an entire whole faction on the other side, plus a lot of constructs and hordes, the Slag Troll is going to put some hurt down, and people are going to be like, what the fuck did that Light Beast just do?
Oh, yeah.
Did that thing just kill my Heavy? What the shit?
Yeah, it's going to be glorious.
You know, and there's not a whole lot of, there's not a lot of synergy, really, even that's needed there. He's pretty self-sufficient. But what he does do is he turns the Horgle Pyre Slag Troll combo into a much more enticing package now. So I think that's actually a thing you're going to start to see, and the Slag Troll as a model has been much maligned for quite some time, and I'm really happy to see it come into the light, and I'm happy I have 4 of them. So.
I completely agree. But was it really maligned in Mark II? Because I only ever saw it in EE.
Before
so.
EE, nobody used it.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
It's true story.
Yeah, before EE, nobody used it. It just didn't have a place in the army. Like, the gun was really great, but Hordes was always the shit, right? Hordes was always what everybody played, and it was the most prevalent in tournaments outside of the top 2 like power factions and War Machine. So it's going to be a great model that you're going to see, and I cannot wait to put it back on the table. So if we want to go back around and pick new favorites, I'll give anybody the floor at this point.
Hold on, I'm making a list. We need another team.
I'm excited about the Pummeler. The Pummeler seems to have a nice longer range artillery, which we haven't had before. The blast damage is high explosive. I mean, it
the bounce. Good God, it does what the Thumper used to do. It's
exactly
freaking awesome.
Yeah, like I said.
So putting 2 pie plates on the table with that kind of damage is kind of silly. Yep. Yeah, it's 6 points and it's inaccurate, but
it's not hitting anything.
Yeah, it's 2 pie plates though. Like, that's crazy.
Agreed, but it's still the fact that I think we're going to see. I'm going to pick it. And I mean, the model. I don't think we've seen the model yet, have we? We've just seen the card.
No, there's nothing yet. I mean, we know what it looks like because of the card, but we have not seen the model.
I got some old Orc artillery. I may proxy that for a couple games and see how it works out.
Oh man, that's going to be crazy. I mean, I think you're going to see a wholesale, not like I don't think you're going to get out of infantry machine, but I think you're going to see. You're going to see a whole lot less infantry overall. due to how much more effective jacks are these days. And some factions fared pretty well as far as war beasts are concerned.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that we have Madrak
Complain
2.
about the Far Strike tax. Now we have a Rage tax, in case you're wondering how that worked.
Yeah, exactly. But we have Madrak 2, and probably the best infantry in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And actually,
Madrak 2 is pretty awesome.
I was surprised to see that the +1 Fury for every model destroyed actually stayed on the card, because we were thinking that would be pulled out, but that managed to make it out into.
Yeah, that's with the way I don't know. I was trying to avoid the gimme because Madrak's what everybody's talking about right now. I don't know how you don't lose. Like,
We'll
Madrak
have to see. We'll have to see how it goes on the table. In fact, let's do that next game you play. Proxy Madrak 2 if you don't have him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have
For
him.
everybody else, I will be doing that. I want to see how bonkers it is, because I think it's pretty nuts. Like, I've got a lot of experience with that feat, Madrak 1's feat, and man, I got a lot of legs out of it before. Now Madrak's just going to like kill your whole army, kill your battle group, and then kill your caster. And if you you laugh like that's not actually going to happen. But I'm going to do that.
Well, I hope it happens, because I've got a tournament I'm going to this weekend. I'm bringing Madrak and Kalandra, so I'll let everyone know how that one works out. Probably not.
Yeah, bring yourself a Pyre Troll and a Room Bearer. No, not a Room Bearer. You don't need a Room Bearer. Actually, you can, yeah, because he's still got Harmonious Exaltation. So, yeah, Pyre Troll and Room Bearer, those are like the only two required things there to have like your fucking dream feat turn. Just wait until they don't space 5 inches apart from one another and then kill everything.
And if you do happen to run out of things to kill with Madrak, you should have enough Fury to cast his AoE like 5 times.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
That might have been an exaggeration, but you feel
And if they bring a bunch of jacks, you're just like, I have Fenblades and Blood Fury. Hooray!
Oh, I love it.
Super awesome. I mean, too good a little, I think. But that's neither here nor there.
All right, I'm just spitballing here, and I know we're talking about units, but Jarl Skuld, a Rune Bearer, a Mountain King, a Glacier King, a Slag Troll, 2 War Wagons, 2 Tinkers, Lanessa Rissel, and the Swamp Gobbers, because you have room for 2 more points.
That's 75 points?
That's 100, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's pretty big.
That's only 4 large-based, huge-based models on your army.
Only.
You're going to have to swap Quicken at least once a turn.
Well, that's why I put Lanissa Rissel in there to help.
Yeah.
She's going to help the Kings get in there. And then Quicken and Tack Soup is for the War Wagons.
That's good. I feel like it should be the other way around, though, because they have no problem getting into position. The Speed 5 stuff does.
Do it the other way around, then. Put Quicken on them and Lanissa Rissel, and now your Mountain King's going to charge 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches, plus he has 2-inch reach. So now your Mountain King has a 14-inch threat range with Kill, Shot, and Assault.
Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good.
I'm just saying. So, I think I can go for my next favorite. Am I allowed to pick a minion, though?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Can I? Do I want to pick a minion? Okay, first of all, I'm bringing it up again, I promise, but Thorn Gun Mages. What? That unit alone convinced me to actually order a whole Laeli's Resistance army. Just so you guys know how I feel about it. Who do I like? I had someone and forgot. Oh, Braylon Wanderheart, guys. She's pretty solid without Highwaymen.
Yeah, as a solo, she's great.
She's only 5 points. She has the Gunfighter, the Pathfinder. She has 2 POW 12 range 8 shots, which suck. Her stat line is 666.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And the way Backstab works now, she just has to walk into someone's back arc, and she's getting all the extra dice on her for Backstab, which is
lucky, right?
Sweet. She has Prowl when she has Concealment, so she gets Stealth when she's concealed, and she has Run and Gun, so if she destroys a model, she has to make a full advance another direction. So she runs pretty well independently of support. If you do her right on a flank, you could really get her up behind stuff and make them really have to worry about her killing things, like a Warcaster.
Yeah. Like, not even just that, but I mean, she plinks support pieces off the table, like, super easy, and then the in and out game is really, really strong for her. So, it feels like she could draw a lot of attention for her like small point cost. It's a lot like what Horthel does in most games, where Horthel's like, hey, I'm not by my Long Riders, but you still have to worry about me just like killing whatever I get to.
Exactly. Plus, she works really well in the Glacier King's shadow. So you've got your Mountain King kind of taking center point, running up the middle. Glacier King off to the side a little bit, lobbing in thunderbolts, with Braylon sneaking around the outside with stealth.
Not too shabby.
I think it works. I'm just saying. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I will Saturday. So I have a really sweet painted Braylon that was donated to me by Nathan, the Pressganger Ballard, who is a fantastic individual, and she looks fantastic. She's probably the hottest troll chick in the army, and I'm not talking about the way she looks. I'm talking about her stats.
Thanks for clarifying.
Okay, Gristle's pretty cool too.
Of course. So one of the models that I think is going to sort of jump out at you a little bit is going to be Gristle 2. I think that she's going to have some legs in this next set here. Like, they changed her skill set up just a little bit, but when you see the wholesale drop in power across the board, her feat starts to look even better, and then her spell list got better across the board. So she has dash, but she has deflection now. That is crazy.
Yeah, now, deflection's really good on her.
Yeah, deflection's crazy. Like, so turning an entire army 14 against ranged is really, really good.
With dash and deflection, she's gonna really help you with that alpha strike. So.
Yep, and finally she has Discord, which gives a model Wailing. Wailing is ridiculous because nobody remembers you have Wailing, and then all of a sudden they're like, I can't cast spells. I'm like, yeah, Wailing.
It's pretty rad. Pretty rad.
It's got reposition and +2 armor unyielding.
Let's call it what it is. You run in with her Fell Call, and you hit him once with a Quake if you have to, and then you just Sonic Eruption all over, or just regular. Does she have a regular attack? Power 14?
So you can choose. So what you can do now is you can choose to shoot the same shot 3 times if you want.
So you knock him down.
Quake, and then Power 14, Power 14, Power 14.
What are they? You have to pick one of these 3, or can you just do a regular Power 14 3-inch AoE?
You have to pick one of them.
Oh, so you just crescendo then, right?
So you crescendo, and then if you absolutely have to during the game, like you can put the Scather down so they take Power 7 when they come through.
Well, Quake still does a Power 14, right? So you're just going to do Quake every time.
You're a direct hit, yeah. Just friggin' put 4 Power 14 boots into something.
What am I talking about? Quake the living crap out of them.
Yeah, exactly. And she's still hard as nails. She's 15, 17.
Did she lose an armor?
No.
I thought she was 18 for some reason.
17. She's defense 15.
She's 32. Yeah, that makes sense.
She's not getting a shot ever at defense 17.
Well, she's hitting defense 16 models on average if you boost it. So bring a Mountain King for Deffen and then.
Holy moly, that model, like that model's made for her, and I think that's why I'm committing to like Madrak 2 Gristle.
Well, now we got to make a Gristle 2 list. That's all I've done since War Room came out is just set a list.
Yep. Well, guys, I think that we've exhausted a lot of our banter at this point, and that I think that we should probably call it for the evening. Anything that you guys would like to end on?
Only thing I want.
The only real thing that I want to chime in on is that Captain Gunbjorn is going to be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Finally.
You know I was championing Gunbjorn for a long time in Mark II, so. Seeing Gunbjorn basically get all the tools that he was missing has left me feeling quite satisfied.
It's freaking Christmas for that guy. He's going to be awesome. All right, so one last thing. I know, Fraser, we do have the Battle Report tool live. You want to talk about that?
Yep, so we were doing this earlier in the year, capturing just the Trollblood information. So I've expanded it out so it has all the factions, and we want to start using it as we did before. Mark III is a perfect point to start this up again. So there's a link I've posted. I think I've posted the link everywhere on the internet that I could find. So it's if people got tired of hearing me talk about Battle for Breath, now they're going to get tired of me talking about this. But the idea is that put all your games in. We're going to track it all. For anyone who's interested in seeing the raw data, just reach out to me. I'm going to make it available to everyone. This is not data I'm owning. I'm going to massage it a bit and post it on. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it up on the Hand Cannon site or if I'll find another site where I can post live results. Because using Google Docs, you can publish them to spreadsheets, and the spreadsheets will actually auto refresh. So it'll make it all fancy. But anyone who wants the raw data, just reach out to me and let me know, and I can share that with you. And if you want to help sort of scrub the data, or any data people out there that want to help out, let me know. Because as much as I know about it, I'm sure there's people out there that know more. But one of the reasons, just quickly, why we did everybody is that we saw the numbers were skewing on a positive side. As Dallas has said before, a lot of people only put in their good games. So we wanted to sort of have everyone put their games in and see what the response rates against playing against other people. But right now, I think we've got up to about just under 50 games, and the overall win ratio for all factions is 67%. So just a reminder: put your games you lose in as much as the games you put your win in. So, but we'll keep this going throughout the rest of the year, and I'm sure this will bring up some interesting numbers as we were seeing. And good on the troll players so far. The people that put in the most results have been the troll players by far over any other faction.
Imagine that, troll players putting stuff into the troll scrums thing.
Yeah. Well, I had them all conditioned properly, and they just continued on. Now I just have to get all the other guys to do the same thing. But I've got. Sorry.
A lot of support for the community and trolls. So.
Oh, absolutely, and I think everyone understands this is great information. We can just sort of see trends and see how our faction's doing against everyone else, and everyone else can have that information as well. So, and it's all about sharing this, because I think this is to me, I find this stuff fascinating, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I figured if we can help facilitate that and get some interesting conversations going, it's well worth the time and the effort. So fill it in. The link's on the TrollbloodScrum Facebook page, which we're almost at 500. We're at like 495, which is crazy, because I think when we started, or when I looked at when we first started doing this, when I first started doing this, how's this for self-promotion? We were at like just under 300, so we've managed to go up 200 in a year. So I think that's fantastic. So,
not too shabby for a faction-specific podcast, if I say so myself.
I couldn't agree more. So if you haven't already, joined us on Facebook, because we're going to post all the links that we talked about today. And you can always ask us questions. So that's it. I'm done. I told you I wanted to finish it off, and then I talked for another 5 minutes. So
all I have to say one more time is thank you, everybody. You're all glorious individuals. I can't be happier. And I will repay everyone. Everyone will get repaid in some fashion, probably with some TrollbloodScrum swag. But
oh yes.
But
there we go. And on that bombshell, this has been the TrollbloodScrum signing off.